friends, and welcome to my review of The Last Naruto the Movie. That's right, my friends, I'm going to give my first impressions review of the latest Naruto movie right here, just for you. That's right, my friends, I'm comfortable, let's kick back and relax and talk about this brand new Naruto movie, which is a big, awesome action fest. Actually, it's not. It's actually more of a love story. And I just want to give my first impressions and thoughts about the brand new Naruto film, which just got released in Japan on DVD and Blu-ray, and is also going to see a DVD and Blu-ray release this October. Make sure to pre-order your copies. I've already got mine paid for, and I cannot wait to watch it again on the big screen with all my friends, gathered together, hanging out, drinking some beers, and enjoying a good time. The thing is, though, this movie is not going to be for everyone. There are going to be some mixed opinions. Despite the fact that this is a big action animated adventure starring Naruto and his friends, it's really all a love story about Naruto and Hinata actually falling in love with each other. And honestly, I do believe that's the strongest element of the movie. Seeing this movie actually made me believe in Naruto and Hinata's relationship, and that's a pretty big accomplishment considering that throughout the course of the entire series, there isn't too much interaction with the characters. Despite that, a lot of major events have involved these two characters, and they really do come to a head in this film. So, let me just talk about some of my favorite elements about this movie. First, before I actually get to the actual story, I just want to say that I loved the nostalgia in this movie. If it's not the opening scene that recounts the entire history of the ninja world, it's the music that they use. In fact, they actually remix the original theme from the original Naruto anime series, and it's used to an amazing effect in this film. Not only in the intro of the movie, but in the final action sequence, which just really amps things up. And that's another thing that I loved about this movie, is that the action scenes are really awesome, very impactful, inventive, and unlike anything that you've seen from the rest of the series. Sure, you're gonna see some shuriken thrown and some punches thrown, but other than that, you're gonna get some pretty epic battles which involve giant monsters and fighting on the moon. This is a pretty ridiculous Naruto movie and really does feel like the final chapter of the series, and that's another reason why this movie is so special. It's basically the next real canon story right after the end of the manga. Also, I think this goes without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and just give a big spoiler warning. If you have not completed reading the manga version of Naruto, or if you're just watching the anime version right now, keep in mind this movie is going to have some massive spoilers, some of which involve the final villain of the entire series, who goes by the name of Kaguya Otsutsuki, and it seems that her ancestry is going to be the real antagonist in this story. Not only that, but you actually get to see what happens to certain characters, so if you haven't finished the manga version or even done watching the anime one, you're probably going to be wondering, why is Guy sitting in a wheelchair? How come he isn't able to help out in the battle? Well, this actually takes place after he has his final battle with Madara, and because of the attacks that he used on him, he's actually permanently put into a wheelchair. He's basically Joe from Family Guy, except even more badass. To be honest, I still wouldn't even want to fight against Guy if he was in a wheelchair. He would probably pummel me. And the last thing you want from Guy is a roundhouse kick to the face. Okay, so what's the story of The Last Naruto the movie? Well, it actually takes place 2 years after the end of the series, and there's this brand new villain in town who goes by the name of Toneri Otsutsuki, who comes from the Otsutsuki clan. In particular, he is from the ancestors of Homura Otsutsuki, the brother of the Sage of the Six Paths. This is something that makes this movie feel unique and wholly important, because unlike the other movies, where it's just some random villain and some other weird character for Naruto to attach himself to, this one actually feels like a natural progression. We actually get to learn something that we didn't get to learn about in the manga, and that's all about the Sage of the Six Paths' brother. Now, we learn that the Sage of the Six Paths went down to Earth to look over the ninja world, and everything went wrong. And it was up to Homura to sort of watch over everything and to guard the moon and make sure the Geto Mazu statue was not stolen. That didn't really work out too well. Madara ended up taking that thing for himself and started enacting his plan to sort of take over the world, although this was all due to Kaguya's will. Over time, Homura left, he passed away, and everything that he was trying to teach his followers and his ancestors and his clan all got misconstrued and messed up, and Toneri decided that instead of actually trying to help out the Earth, he's going to take the moon, destroy it with the power of this super mega ninja ability known as the Tenseigan, and literally destroy it Armageddon style, with meteorites and having it crash into the Earth, destroying everything. In order to prevent this doomsday disaster, Konoha Village, which is now being led by Kakashi, which I think is pretty freaking awesome, decides to send out a crackerjack team of ninja to stop these world-ending events. Also, at the same time, we got all these other ninja from all over the world who are basically trying to destroy all these meteorites, which are crashing into their villages and destroying everything. Basically, it's all just an excuse to get some glorified cameos from some of our favorite characters. Killer Bee is in this movie. I wish he could have done a little bit more. You, of course, have the freaking Mizukage, and the Kazekage, and the Tsuchikage, all pretty much doing what they did in the series. But I have to admit, it is really cool to see them all working together, despite the fact that the Raikage did have a secret weird ninja hidden weapon that could pretty much just obliterate anything. Where was this during the war? Were they developing it during this time period, or was it a secret weapon that was hidden away? We never really get the answers for that, because, again, that's not what's important. There are action scenes all over this movie that are really ridiculous, but at the core of this story, it is all about Naruto and Hinata professing their love for each other. One of my favorite things about this story actually is how it opens up with Naruto actually being revered by everyone in the village. We already knew after he defeated Pain and saved the ninja world that everybody loved him, but it's taken to an entirely new level in this movie. Naruto is frankly kind of a ladies' man. He has all of the girls attached to him, and this is making Hinata jealous and nervous. Throughout the whole course of the movie, she's doing everything in her power to profess her love and to give him this scarf that she's been knitting the entire time. And this is where I think the first half of the film is strongest. The first half mostly takes place in Konoha Village, which is during the winter time, it's snowy, and frankly, it looks beautiful. That's one thing this movie definitely has going for it, is its animation and its backdrops. Seeing Konoha in the wintry night with the snow slowly coming down on top of it is frankly just one of the most tranquil things that I've ever seen from the entire series, and really adds a lot of atmosphere to this movie. That, and of course, it adds a little bit of somberness to the fact that Hinata is still trying to profess to Naruto, and she just can't do it. Another thing that I like about this movie is how it actually uses its side characters. They never feel intrusive, and it's always really great to see them. Case in point, Hanabi Hyuga, who is actually the sister of Hinata, and she also just so happens to be one of the main catalysts for the story and how things get really kicked off, because she's actually the one who was kidnapped by Toneri Otsutsuki, and her eyes are actually taken and placed in his frickin' skull, which gives him the powers of the Tenseigan and being able to control this big destructive ninja weapon. But what I love about Hanabi is that we never really get to see her too much in the manga and anime version. She did have an hour special devoted to both her and her sister, but in this movie, when she's actually formally introduced, it is amazing that she and Hinata are related, because as outside of what they look like, they could not be more different from one another. Hinata is timid, she's nervous, she's unsure of herself. Hanabi is bubbly, adorable, and it really just makes the world seem a little more realistic, seeing these completely different dynamics coming off of each other. Right after that, of course, we have the big action scene where the entire Konoha village is invaded by these people who are following Toneri Otsutsuki. They abduct Hanabi, and that's when we get this big action sequence where Naruto is chasing them throughout the entire village. While all of this is going on, Hinata is desperately trying to find her sister, and all at the same time, she's being attacked by the ninja as well, and almost meets certain doom. That is until Naruto decides to jump in and ends up saving the day. That's when we finally get our big players who come in. We have Naruto, we have Hinata, we have Sakura, who makes a very big return in this movie. We also get some extra bonuses with Shikamaru and frickin' Sai. The only reason I think Sai was included in this movie personally is so that we could actually have some birds to ride on. Really, they needed him because the villains are actually using their own versions of these big creepy birds that they're flying on, and this allows them to go on equal footing. But I digress. Really, that's not what's important. What's important is the progression of Naruto and Hinata's relationship, which is definitely felt throughout this entire film, and there's a lot of scenes that really bring that to light. First, as they're going after Toneri, they actually have to go through this weird portal, which is in this underground spring, which actually takes them to the center of the moon. I know it makes no freaking sense whatsoever, but remember, this is a ninja anime series where people can summon giant slugs and pugs who wear ninja gear. While they're traveling through this portal, they actually get to see all of these flashbacks of previous parts of their memories, and they actually get to relive them and actually enter these memories. And this is when Naruto finally learns, after all this time, that Hinata is completely obsessed with him. And this is also when he starts to realize that he actually has feelings for her as well. And then comes what I believe to be one of the biggest shocks of the film, which is Hinata is not the first one to profess her love. Of course, she's said that she's loved Naruto before, but it's always fallen on deaf ears. Naruto is the one who actually confronts her and says that he loves her. And it's at this point of the story that Hinata is kidnapped, and that's when we get to the most generic part of the movie, which is basically just the big saving the princess sequence, fighting against the ninja and saving the day. That's not to say that it's bad, I just find that it's the weakest element of the movie. At least it's backed up by some pretty damn good animation and some amazing action sequences. Some other things to take note as you're going into this movie: do realize that Sasuke, who is a really important character in the manga series and in the anime, doesn't exactly play a very large role in this movie, and I'm not going to fault the film for that. It's definitely not about Sasuke, and he basically just has one glorified cameo in the movie, which is basically just him completely demolishing this meteorite, which is about to crush Kakashi and the entire Konoha village. Although I do have to admit that he did get a little bit of help from Rock the OG Lee, who frickin' used this crazy flying V formation with a group of other taijutsu ninja, and they completely punched this thing in half. It was just great to see Rock Lee again, if anything. The real stars of this movie are Naruto, Hinata, and the villain Toneri. I want to talk about Toneri for a second because he's not the perfect villain, but he's probably the most natural-fitting movie villain I've seen from the entire series. He's a guy who comes from an ancient lineage, has misconstrued everything about their legends, and wants to destroy the world. That's pretty much all you need to know about this character. What is really cool about him, though, are his fighting abilities. Because he is from the Otsutsuki clan, he does have some pretty cool things he can do, especially when he obtains the Byakugan eyes, which allow him to do these crazy countering abilities. There's a scene in the film where Naruto tries to hit him point-blank range with a Rasengan, and he uses this counter ability which covers it up completely with light, and then goes right through Naruto, hits him point blank with the attack, and creates this massive freaking destructive beam of energy, which just annihilates the ground and flies up into the sky, blasting into the moon. It's so ridiculous that even the guys from Dragon Ball Z would be pretty freaking impressed by this. But really, it's the big final battle that Naruto has with Toneri, which takes place on the moon, where things really start to get interesting. I especially love the fact that Naruto has this brand new ability where he can actually separate Kurama from his body completely, and he actually takes the form of that big chakraized form of Kurama with the glowing yellow light and the black stripes, and he's actually able to fight against this giant stone creature which looks like Hamura Otsutsuki. While all at the same time, you have Naruto who's having this amazingly badass hand-to-hand fight with Toneri on the moon, which, while short, is very flashy and awesome looking. I especially love that they gave Toneri this power-up, which allows him to use his chakra in a very similar manner to Kyuubi chakra mode, where his entire body has this, like, almost turquoise blue chakra color, which look like flames, which are coming off of his body, and this allows him to go on equal footing with Naruto, at least for a little bit. It's when that main theme from Naruto kicks in that you know that Toneri is pretty much screwed. That, and of course when Naruto gives his big lesson about what it really means to knit a scarf, and the actual symbolic meaning behind all of that. But you forget about all of that as soon as he punches Toneri, which leaves this massive crater in the moon, ends up sending him flying across it and slamming into a wall. It's definitely one of the best parts of the movie. After having his eyes removed and then giving them back to Hanabi, he's actually told the truth about Hamura Otsutsuki, and that's when he decides to repent for his sins and to guard the moon just like his ancient ancestors. I actually would not be surprised if we do not see Toneri Otsutsuki again. I really think it would be a great way to reintroduce that character, and maybe we could see him working on the side of the good guys. I think that'd be pretty cool. And of course, the film ends with both Naruto and Hinata professing their love for each other, embracing one another, and sharing a kiss as we fade to black. Make sure to stay after the credits because there is also this really cool post-credits scene where you get to see Naruto and Hinata with their brand new family and their children, Boruto and Himawari. It's a great preview for the brand new movie which is going to be coming up, and of course, the spin-off manga series Naruto Gaiden. But honestly, with all of these amazing action sequences and all the cool character cameos, I think my favorite scene from the entire movie is simply when they're actually traveling through this moon dimension. There's a really great scene where Naruto and Hinata get a lot of one-on-one time with another, and they're going through these ruins, enjoying each other's company, and reminiscing about old times. It really brings these characters close together, while all at the same time you have to realize that Naruto is also trying to look out for the well-being of Hinata, because of course she's worried about her sister who's just been kidnapped and had her frickin' eyes ripped out. So there's a lot of emotion in this movie, and I really do think it works, and I'm not gonna lie. There were a number of times while watching this movie that I got very teary-eyed and misty. It's really amazing to have seen this character grow up, become an adult, fall in love, and start a family, and you really sympathize on both sides. That, combined with the beautiful and atmospheric animation, make this without a doubt one of the most memorable Naruto experiences that I've ever had, and really felt like the perfect way to end the series, despite the fact that we also do have a time skip which happens way after this, when Naruto becomes Hokage and we start the next part of the series. What I will say is, this was a fantastic way to show Naruto and Hinata actually falling in love, and to make it seem a little more realistic. It didn't just happen overnight. This is something that's been going on for years. Naruto and Hinata have known each other since they were children. They've had multiple interactions with one another, and it's all been leading up to this final moment when they finally do profess their love. It's honestly pretty freaking amazing. This is a Naruto movie that I can honestly recommend to every type of Naruto fan. But, will you like it? That really depends on how much you actually like the characters. While I really enjoyed this movie, I know a lot of people who did not care for it. They wanted more action scenes. They wanted the side characters to do a few more things. They were disappointed by the fact that at the end of the day, this is a glorified love story, but believe it or not, it's actually handled really well, and I think that's a major accomplishment considering that Kishi does not exactly do romance that well. But this movie was believable, and it was a beautiful film. So, Naruto fans, I highly recommend checking out The Last Naruto the movie. If there's only one fault I have with it, I think that the title of the movie is pretty freaking stupid, because it's not the last. If anything, this is basically just an intermission until we get to the next part of the series, which is all about Boruto, his friends, the big new Chunin exam coming up, and all of the brand new spin-offs we're going to get. What I will say is, this is not just a companion piece to the Naruto series. This is not just some extra supplement. This is an actual part of the series that any fan should definitely check out. I know that this review was all over the place and a little haggard. I'm still trying to collect my thoughts about the movie. What I will say is, I still really enjoyed it. I will say, though, that later on down the line, both Christian and I are going to do a more in-depth review of the movie from beginning to end, analyzing every little thing about it that we can. Kind of like how we did our Dragon Ball Z movie reviews, and we're currently still reviewing all of the Naruto movies right now. We have the next one, which is going to be coming up very soon, I promise. I know we've been working on it for an incredibly long time, but there is a very good reason for it. One, we're basically just busy. But two, we also have some big surprises for the next review. There are going to be some really cool things to look for in that. It's not just going to be me and Christian in the review, and that's something that I'm really, really excited about. Otherwise, like I said, just really recommend this movie to any Naruto fan, especially if you love Naruto and Hinata. Definitely check it out. You might get the feels. You'll probably enjoy the action scenes and all of the cool cameos. And it'll get you excited for the next chapter in the Naruto series, which is going to involve the next generation, the children of Naruto. So, I'm going to give this movie a thumbs up. I highly recommend it, but like I said, I want to do a more in-depth review later on down the line. But you guys heard my thoughts. I really want to hear from you guys. How did you feel about the latest Naruto movie, The Last Naruto the movie? Please tell me in the comment section below. Did you have a favorite character who showed up? What did you think of the actual love story between Hinata and Naruto? Did you have a favorite action scene? Was there something about the movie you didn't like? Please tell me in the comment section below. Make sure to be respectful of other people's opinions, and please tell me what you hope to see in the brand new movie, Boruto Naruto the movie. Thank you guys very much for watching my video. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to follow us on social media. You guys should also check out our weekly podcast show that's the Powerful Nerdcast. You can find it on our YouTube channel, and you can also find us on Rogue Intel, which is this amazing podcast network, which has a lot of different shows on it. You should definitely check those out as well. And you guys can also check us out on iTunes. That way you can download our show and you can take us wherever you want to go. So there it is. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.